Both of them really gave some very powerful information. And let me preface what I want to say, and I have to be real careful because it don't take much for me to preach. But I was taking a class once, and the professor walked in the class, and he took a lemon and put it up on the desk, and he cut it. He said, when I cut this lemon open, and I begin to squeeze it, I need you all to tell me what's going to come out of it. People begin to answer. Some said, pulp is going to come out. Some said, juice is going to come out. And we kept giving answers, seeds will come out. But the truth of the matter is, he said, when you squeeze it, whatever's in it is going to come out. And I can tell you, we talked about trauma. You talk about, we have functional issues when it comes down to relationships with families and jobs and employment and education. I mean, these are all functional issues that's affecting us now, including health issues. And the main thing is mental health. But the bottom line, listen, if anybody should have been crazy, if I had allowed the stuff that was in me to come out the way I wanted it to come out, because you got to think about it. I grew up in the 60s, and I'm doing the civil rights era. And I heard my daddy call boys so many times until I thought it was just a disease to be black. I was jumped on and beat up so many times by older white men, saw more crosses burning the yard, just because we were trying to integrate the school. Now you talk about trauma. And now we got to go to a school and there's a line of people. We got to walk through this line and they throwing all kinds of bombs and stuff at us and hurling all kinds of insults. Trauma. I mean, I should have really serious mental health issues. And to be honest with you, every now and then it comes up. It comes up because some things that happen in life, it squeezes you. And when it comes up, I remember my dad always said, he said, son, God is for you. And not being Father's Day weekend, I honor him because you know what I saw this man do? In the midst of that trouble, we were working on somebody else's land. It was not supposed to be sharecropping, but it was. Because we were working on their land and working out crops, and we had to give. I kept wondering, why in the heck? I almost said something else. We got to keep giving up all this stuff to these people, and we don't want to do it all the time. That's trauma. We worked in the field all day long, and now we got to give it over to these folks on their land. But you know, I made a vow because what happened is, in the midst of all this, the community came together. Whatever it ended, when the squeeze was put on them, the community came together in love. After hearing that I was beat up and the police came to my house to pick me up, my mama stood in the doorway and said, you get him over my dead body. And in a few minutes, she made one holler. We didn't have no phone. One holler to her dad. Daddy! And before you could even drop a stick, they showed up at the house. Showed up in unity. Showed up together. And power. That man left us so quick because he saw black folks together. We came together. But in the midst, what comes out of you? And I will try to end with this. I saw, Daddy kept saying, God is for you, and I saw him, he did this. This man took one calf, and we fed that little calf from a bucket. But I saw that calf grow into a herd of over 70 cows. He took those 70 cows, and he sold them. And first thing he needed 20 more back to replace them. But then he bought the land that we had been sharecropping on. He made a vow to own every bit of that land he lived before he passed away. He We own every bit of that land. We still right now. And you're trying to get it, nobody don't get it. Because he fought for it. Yeah. But I saw him do that. Take that one calf, grow into a herd of cows. And then when they were to buy land, buy the tractor, we had a meeting. I lose some of you city folks right there, but we had a meeting. Now we got a tractor, man. We're going to get some stuff done, and now we got our own land. What was he trying to instill in me? That, listen, whatever they do with the squeeze is put on you, the squeeze was on us. But look what came out. And he told me, he said, boy, you're going to go higher than me. And what I need you to do is get education. And I'm proud to stand here and sit here today and say, yeah, that school where they didn't want me, where I got beat up and kicked around and slapped by somebody, I got to tell this story. That wasn't black. Okay? And every day she came in that room, she looked at me and gave me a little smile. I would look away because we had been taught. Look away, look down, step off the sidewalk. But she kept looking at me every day. And I thought to myself, but day after day, I said, maybe this might be real. So, having one morning, I just decided to look back at her and smile at her. And the teacher saw me do it. And in the back words, he said, Marshall, what are they doing to you? And then I'm 7. Said, go call your mama, who worked at a factory about 5 minutes away from the school. Called her mama. The mama came right in front of everybody. And Marcia pointed me out. She slapped me, to the ground. And then drug me down to the principal's office and told the principal she wanted that nigga beat until she said that. And he proceeded to beat me, and not with a little paddle, but a board. Beyond the point where I even sit down. Talking about trauma. But you know what God did? It was in my spirit. Then I kept saying, God is for you. Can I show you how in that same school district, I can go on and on right there, because I can be emotional like that, but God allowed me to go to school and come back and work at that same school district as a teacher.
There you go.
And then as a building that was principal. And guess what? The same man that beat me.
Come on now.
For putting, I didn't tell this story, but putting black and I'm proud, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I put it on my arm. I had a kind of decent arm. And I put it on there because when James Brown came up with that song, I realized it's no disease to be black. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
All right.
And I had a math teacher that beat me, trying to make me take it off. I refused to take it off because I'm proud to be black. Then the same man that beat me, he tried to avoid working in that school anymore because here I am, I'm the principal now. He's at a private school, but the private school closed it down. And guess what he had to do?
All right now. All right.
I needed a math teacher.
Come on.
And he needed a job.
There you go.
Look how God turned things around.
Say that. Say that.
God is for you. And I looked at him when he walked in my office. When the application came across my desk, I said, And trauma, look, there were some things in my mind. I was intending this to lash out and get it. The nerve of you to come to me for a job. But because God is for me.
Yes.
When the squeeze was put on me, love came out.
Wow.
And even though he didn't even ask for forgiveness, I forgave him and hired him. And what happened was I had to evaluate him every year. And every year I went there to evaluate him to determine whether he was going to keep his license or not. The Lord was showing me, see that?
Yeah.
I'm for you. God bless you. Thank you. I can go